I like to tinker with stuff. This is my workbench. I've got some upgrades I'd like to make to it, but it's a mess. So first, let's clean that up.
Alright, so I'm not gonna lie. I didn't clean up anything. I just shoved it all to one side. So I don't have a clean workbench to show you, but let's get into the projects I did get done.
So now when I'm doing electrical work, trying to build something or debug something, this is my power supply. I don't have one of those fancy turn the knob, set my voltage and amps and stuff. This is just plugged into a power strip and comes out the end. And I would do something like wire nut these together to get power to this light. This thing is going to be a future episode. But this is not the safest. Any idiot can see that. So we're going to make it a little safer. So what we're going to do, trim that off, strip it new. I'm going to put some fair rules on it so that the strands are nice and contained. We get good solid connections. And then we've got some Wago lever nuts so that I can attach and detach whatever I'm testing without having to worry about a solid wire connection with a nut. This will be a lot easier, should be a lot safer too. Not that any of this is like safe, because, I mean, come on, look at it. Ta-da, 2 hands. We're going to see how this works. It's probably not the best long-term solution, but got a little stand for this. See how it works. So first thing we're going to do, trim these off flush and strip them back fresh so that we don't have any of this mangled mess. Note that it is unplugged because I'm not a complete idiot, despite what you all are probably thinking. So I'll do my best to keep this in shot, but see how it goes. The stand is actually one of the other upgrades I'm going to do in this video. I'm just shooting it out of order because I feel like doing this first. So we're going to just find our wire gauge and strip it back. If you look on any wire strippers, it'll tell you the gauge, solid and stranded. So, it'll tell you what gauge it is, which is going to be useful because we'll need to know that for the fair rules. Stand by. So I've got my wire stripped back, and check the number there. This is 14 gauge. So we're going to find 14 gauge. So we want the blue ones. All right, let's see if I can get this in shot. So what this is going to do is go over the exposed nuts like this, or exposed wires like this. And I need to strip it back a little bit longer because we want a little bit of wire to be exposed. It's going to slide over like that, and we're going to crimp it down and trim it up, and I'm going to strip that back a bit more just now. I'm going to need 2 of these. I'm going to close the lid here so that I don't punch them and make them fly everywhere and make a goddamn mess. So you can see I'm a little short on my distance here, so I'm going to strip back just another, 1/8 of an inch, not much. It is okay to strip off too much of this because we are going to trim it. Oh, see, I just punched something else. We're going to trim it in just a minute. This is to aim up a little bit. That'll help. No, because my camera is at the bottom of the phone. So it's down here in this corner, which is real annoying. I need it up higher. But I can do this part in focus. So we feed this through. We have just the tip of the copper hanging out of the end. Do that over here as well. I'm gonna make sure all the strands are through and that this plastic is covering the sheath on the wire itself, so that there's not any just bare copper back here. That'd be a bad idea. Now these come with a specific crimper. You can use these to crimp things like some other terminal connectors, but ferro rules need to be cramped in a very specific shape, and they take one of these square crimpers that pushes from all sides simultaneously to crimp it nice and square. So you just let's see if I can do this. I'll have to flip this around, maybe hold it upside down. But get that all the way in and squeeze it all the way until it gives. Now you can see it crimps it square. It's four-sided, and this is not coming off anywhere. You want to make sure that these are... that's not a very good crimp. Damn it. All right. Let's go down a ferro rule size and see what happens. So I went down a size, thinking maybe if you check our gauge, 14 stranded is the same as 12 solid. So I went down to a 12 solid. Wire gauges are reverse. Smaller numbers mean smaller diameter, not smaller. Bigger numbers not mean bigger wires. Bigger numbers mean smaller wires. So I went down a size. Hopefully we get a better connection, because I just don't like how much space is in that. That is supposed to be flush on all sides. So let's see if this is any tighter. Gone down a size to account for the fact it's stranded rather than solid. Got that on there. Feed it through. Let's see if we can. Can we get that in the shot there? And there's cramps in all directions. Still not great, but it's better. And then we would take this and trim it flush, get the copper niblets out of there. Yeah, it's still... I was able to pull it off. That's not good. So I'm just going to trash that one and keep trying until I figure it out. I'll just skip ahead a bit for you all. You don't need to watch this. It's painful for me as it is for you. So, I was just talking about how smaller numbers mean smaller wires and all that jazz. Well, I said it out loud, right? But I did it wrong in real life. To go down a size, I need to go down to a 16 ferro rule, not up to a 12. 12 is bigger. 12 is a bigger wire than a 14. So these black ones are the 16s, and they're on there pretty snug. So I'm feeling a lot better about this one. I ended up putting on the bigger ferro rule. No wonder it came off so easy. Now, let's see. Yeah, you see how there's no weird pockets of air or anything. We want full and complete contact through that copper. So let's get this one in here and cramp it down. There we go. And that is not going anywhere. Trim the copper flush. Best I can anyway. And then this middle one is the ground. It'd be nice if I had it, but most of my stuff I do does not. So I'm just going to trim this way back, and if I need to add it later, I will. Now let's add these. Let's add these lever nuts. These are Ideal brand, not Wago brand, but they are the same thing. So the ones we saw in the video earlier were push connectors. These have little tabbies you flip up. Oops. Insert your ferrule or your exposed wire in a solid conductor, and god damn it, this doesn't fit. All right. Oh wait, let's make it fit, because I am nothing if not safety minded. All right, you can see in the back, kind of, not on this, but you can see the conductor has all the way to the end. I can see the copper sticking through. Let's make this one fit too. Because why not? There. So now I've got two really secure connections that are reusable. I can pop wires in and out of these other conductors at will. And, I can... So this is one of the projects I'm working on. It'll be a future video trying to change how this works. But let's see if I can get this to work now without some really dodgy wire splices. So let's plug this in. And put in our Wago nuts. I'm gonna have to turn this off for a second. I think I need two hands for this, and the kickstand's just not working. Okay, so I've got my connection in there. Let's hit the power strip and see if that worked. Hey, there we go. All right, and then that second one was the under cabinet lighting kicking in. So, upgrade complete. On to the next one. So for one of these projects, I gotta figure out how to get this collapsible stand attached to here. So I need to orient it properly first. This is how it's designed to set up. So you can see your phone from your desk. But I cannot mount that like that. It will fall. So my plan is to turn it and mount it this way. And then the phone will cradle in there and be pointed down at the work desk. So the trick is going to be to get some bolts that fit in the pegboard, put some holes in this thing. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. First, we got the bolt and screw tins, just random shit I keep over time. Find something that fits in the pegboard. Great. Now do I have two of these? I had something a little shorter that works fine too. I don't need off 3 inches of that. But I do want them to be, something similar so that they're not like super wonky. Let's see. And then I just hit the wrong button somewhere. So let's see. These appear to be two identical screws that fit in the pegboard. And the question is, are they long enough to go through this and the pegboard? The pegboard's not even a 1/4 inch, so it'll come to. So this will be perfect. Now, so I've got two of these. I need to line up the holes. And I am not going to measure. Let me show you what again, wrong button. So I'm going to repeat myself. What I've done is put some blue painter's tape here and poke holes in the pegboard. I'm going to peel that off gently and place it on the back of the phone stand. Then I've got perfectly referenced marks without having to remember numbers or measure or anything like that. So I'm just going to get this stuck on centered as best I can, and I'll be right back. So I've got my two holes here and here. This one ripped a little, but you can tell it's the top here. I'm going to use a punch, try and make a little dent in the plastic so I can drill it out. So this punch, you'll see it compresses until it gives, and that give, let me get a better grip. You hear that? That leaves a small dent. We're going to get our drill bit started. So I've got my box of drill bits out. I'm going to figure out what size I need. That's too big. I'll try an 1/8. Maybe one more 5/16. 5:30 seconds, I mean. Perfect, great. I'm gonna put some 5:30 seconds holes here and here. I'm gonna readjust, move over to probably the vise because I want to make sure I don't drill through like all 4 layers of this. All right, I've got this arranged here on the vise so that the holes will, hopefully I won't poke through too far, but when I do, I'm not drilling into this part. I'm not going to hit any metal. I'm just going to use the tip of the bit will go in that hole, then I'll get going. I gotta put my, let's see if I can do this one-handed. Why not? See how the bit kind of wants to walk. There we go. Now, that looks like that's metal in there. I thought it was going to be plastic all the way through. So I'm going to put a little oil on that just to kind of lubricate the process, carry those metal filings away, and see what we can do. Okay, yeah, I need more downward pressure than I can do one-handed, so be right back. Well, that took a lot more effort than I thought it was going to, but you never know what you're going to run into. You see I cracked the outer case there. So what I'm going to do now is just see if this works with one hole rather than bother with 2. So we'll go back over here, and I need to feed a bolt, this little screw, from the back side of the pegboard through. Just a second. All right, so there's that sorted. But what I don't want is as I push this on to push that through the back side. So I'm going to see if I got see if one of my box O nuts has what I'm looking for. Right. And I can test it on this one because I did not. Oh, those are too big. I don't even know why I'm bothering. Nope. Time for the random bucket of nuts. Just a second. Let me find it first. I realized what these screws were. These are from either a light switch or an electrical receptacle. So I took the little plastic backer off of one. See if that works. So we just feed this through here, hopefully. And then, all right, let's try this again with 2 hands, just a second. And there we go. I can't really see what you can see. I can see a little bit on this side of the frame and a little bit on this side of the frame. Middle's blocked, but I mean, better than nothing, hopefully. This means you guys can see more of my projects a little better. So, thanks for watching. Take it from here, see what we can make in the future.